You ever have that feeling that deep down you know you're capable of so much more, but some invisible force just seems to be holding you back? It's incredibly frustrating, right? Well, today we're going to dive into how to master our own inner world to completely change our outer reality. We're talking insights from neuroscience and the psychology of the absolute best performers on the planet. Man, this quote from the elite trading coach Mark Douglas just hits the nail on the head. He perfectly describes that feeling. Your potential is right there. You can almost taste it. It's so obvious, and yet you feel like you're stuck behind a wall you can't even see. And this isn't just about trading. This is for anyone trying to level up in life.
So that's the big question, isn't it? What are these invisible barriers? The answer is kind of shocking. They're not out there in the world. They're not your boss or the economy. As we're about to see, the barriers are right here inside our own minds.
Okay, let's get right into the cause. Turns out, for most of us, our brain is just running on autopilot. It's basically running a program that was written entirely by our past.
Does this look a little too familiar? Yeah, me too. Dr. Joe Dispenza points this out so brilliantly. For most of us, our days are just a predictable routine. We wake up, we think the same thoughts, we make the same choices, do the same things, and, no surprise, we get the same experiences, which then create the exact same emotions. We are, quite literally, reliving the same day over and over and over again.
So, this cycle actually has a name. It's called the thinking-feeling loop. And this idea is so powerful. Think about it. You have a stressful thought. Your brain releases chemicals that make your body feel stressed. Your body, now feeling stressed, sends a signal back to your brain saying, "Hey, I'm stressed," which then causes you to think even more stressful thoughts. It's this vicious biological feedback loop that keeps us completely stuck. And here is the absolute core of the problem. Your physical body, it doesn't have a conscious mind of its own. It literally doesn't know the difference between a real event happening right now and an old memory you're just replaying in your head. So by constantly feeling the emotions of your past, frustration, worry, anger, you are chemically, biologically instructing your body to live in the past. That right there, that's the invisible barrier.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what on earth is the solution? How do the masters, the elite performers in any field, how do they break free from this loop? Well, they learn to adopt a totally different way of thinking, a completely different mindset. And here we can see that contrast so clearly. On one side, you have the amateur, or what Mark Douglas calls the perfectionist mind. This person is obsessed with being right and absolutely terrified of being wrong. They're always trying to predict one single certain future. But the master, they operate from a probabilistic mindset. They know they can't predict any one thing, but they can play the odds over the long run. They don't run from uncertainty, they embrace it and just focus on what they can control, their own response. This quote is just perfect. It captures that whole philosophy. A master isn't emotionally wrapped up in being right on one trade or one decision. They ask a much smarter question. How will I know if this is working or not? They define their risk ahead of time, they take all the emotional drama of right and wrong out of it, and they just execute their plan.
So, how do we actually get there? How do we transform our autopilot brain into a master's mind? Well, it's all about actively, consciously breaking the habit of being your old self.
And here is the fundamental logic of it all. If you truly, genuinely want to create a new personal reality, a new life,
You have to first get beyond the one you're living in right now. It's that simple. You cannot build a new future while you are literally chained to the energy, the emotions, and the thoughts of your past. The very first step is to pull your attention and your energy out of your familiar, known life. Dr. Dispenza has this amazing way of describing it. He calls it becoming nobody, no one, no thing in no time. What does that mean? It means you have to systematically take your attention off your body and all its programmed feelings. You have to take it off your external environment with all its people and places that trigger you. And finally, you have to get beyond time itself by stopping that endless loop of replaying the past and worrying about the future. So how do you do this? This inner work is usually done through meditation. The whole goal is to slow your brainwaves down, to get out of that high alert, analytical beta state and into the more creative, suggestible states of alpha and theta. And from that place, you combine a super clear intention for your future with an elevated emotion, like the feeling of gratitude or joy, as if that future is already happening right now.
You are literally teaching your body on a chemical level what its new future feels like, long before it happens in the real world.
And this is where it gets really mind-blowing. When people actually commit to this inner work, the results can be just extraordinary. We're not talking about theory here. We are talking about everyday, common people creating totally uncommon, measurable changes in their lives. Take the story of Anna, a psychotherapist who was dealing with severe trauma and major health problems. Her doctors basically told her she was going to die. But she committed to this inner work every single day. And as this quote says, she became more committed to believing in a new future than she was to believing in her same old past. And through that commitment, she completely healed her body and transformed her life. It's incredible.
And look, this isn't just about stories. This is hard data. Dr. Dispenza's team measured a key marker for your immune system's strength called immunoglobulin A. So after just 4 days of people practicing this inner work for just a few minutes a day, the average level of this powerful immune protein shot up by almost 50%.
Let that sink in for a second. This is not just positive thinking. You are literally changing your biology. You are signaling new genes in new ways. You're turning on the genes for health and turning off the genes for stress. In a very, very real sense, you are becoming your own genetic engineer, simply by changing how you think and feel.
And this work goes way beyond just physical healing. People who do this are creating all sorts of incredible results. We're talking about healing chronic pain, attracting new healthy relationships, creating amazing career opportunities, and even having these profound mystical experiences that completely change their understanding of reality.
And this quote right here points to the ultimate philosophy behind all of this. See, the idea isn't that you're building a new you out of nothing. It's that you are connecting to a version of yourself that already exists as a potential in the quantum field. A more evolved, more conscious, more capable you is already out there, waiting. Your job is to change your energy to match the energy of that future. And when you do, you literally draw that reality to you.
Which really leaves us with one final, and I think very powerful question to think about. If you could really break free from those invisible barriers of your past, if you could truly adopt the mindset of a master, who is the future you that's waiting to be called into existence?